Welcome to our debrief of the day 2 reading. I want to go over the figurative language and a couple of key words. You may have noticed the word excruciating to describe Jessica's pain. I just wanted to point that out. That comes from cross, uh, which, as far as I know, is based on the agony of the Roman torture and death device, the cross, where people were crucified. And we do have a number of words that come from that same thing. You may have heard about athletes destroying their anterior cruciate ligament, which goes across. And the pain of being crucified was so extraordinary that they had to come up with a term for that level of pain because it didn't exist before. Phantom pain is a really interesting thing. It is described some in our book, but that is a very real event that amputees of various kinds experience, where they literally have sensation in a part of their body that is not attached anymore. It's kind of crazy. Can't explain why it happens, but it is very common and, as you can imagine, very disruptive and frustrating for those people. Let's get into our figurative language. We continue to have some really neat examples. Right there at the beginning of our reading in chapter 8, she's talking about the balloons, and they stand at attention, get well, they command, and they're my very own round-faced cheering squad. Really interesting set of personification comments. Then in chapter 9, it smells sickly, like diarrhea and disinfectant. That's probably not a simile because it's probably literal, but it's a very vivid sensory comment, isn't it? So that would qualify as imagery for us. And then there's the balloons again. It's like they're tired of trying to cheer me up, like they want to give up too. So a little personification mixed with a simile. When Fiona comes in, her description of her friend has some nice imagery mixed in there. She says, "I'm dying here." I've said that. We probably all use that phrase or something similar, probably a little bit of a hyperbole. When she has that flashback and remembers the crash, for a moment, the air seems like glass. Wow, what a phrase. And then there's the screaming, crunching, shattering, very sensory language there that really takes us into her experience and her mind and sensory information. He torpedoed a school bus. Of course, that comes from naval warfare when a submarine would shoot a torpedo at a ship and sink it. So hitting something and causing destruction and sinking it has come to be used in a more generic way. So he literally didn't fire a torpedo at the bus. He rammed it with his truck and destroyed it. She's wider than my sheets. You can kind of see her face as she's experiencing the missing leg for the first time. Fiona is, I'm sorry. Blinking like there's too much light in the room. Another nice simile there. Um, the end of chapter 12, suddenly I'm wrung out. When you're done with a towel, perhaps you might wring it out to get the extra water. Definitely a metaphor or kind of an idiom there. Um, let's see. Oh, she talks about her stump, how it's tender and it's still mad at the world. So a little personification for that piece of her body, that stump. Um, and boy, I love that last phrase. It may be gone, but that's not stopping it from insisting it's still there. Another kind of personification sort of thing. So I wonder if you saw this coming as we did our predictions for this second reading. Did you think Jessica would start to turn the corner? Would everything start looking up? It's better, right? She's starting to see some people. She does some PT. She seems to be improving, but is her mind in a better place? That I'm not too sure about. But her mother is just kind of getting stretched, as I can imagine any parent would be. But you notice the comments like, "That's my girl," and "You did wonderful." Just so encouraging. But she just needs some sign that her daughter is going to bounce back and move forward. And here Jessica is struggling not just with her own headspace and the lack of her leg and not being able to be who she had always been and do what made her feel alive, but now she has these social demands placed upon her. And you may have been in this situation where you were expected to act fine or happy or whatever, and you couldn't burden other people with your feelings. But here she is exhausting herself trying to be upbeat and positive for Kaylee because she doesn't want her sister to suffer from what she's suffering from. She feels like she has to be okay. And sometimes, let's face it, we are not okay. And I hope in your life you're able to just tell the people around you, especially those you love, that you're not fine. Because that whole just say, oh, I'm fine, it just doesn't work. Don't lie to people, especially if you care about them. Anyway, a couple of new characters. Well, three, not literally a couple. Fiona, the great best friend. She is has all the earmarks of an important character moving forward. Kaylee makes an appearance, definitely a side character. She's part of the family, could only pop up here and there. And I wonder what you think about Gavin. I would also be pretty mad if somebody I had a crush on didn't pay attention to me until I had a disaster in my life. So I'm with Jessica on her feelings at this point. But I wonder what you're thinking is going to happen. Will she and Gavin be a thing? Is that girl who's making moves on him going to get away with it? I just wonder how this is all going to go down. So revise your predictions and get ready for our next reading. I'll see you soon.